Hello?
Took you damn long enough. Have you seen the news?
The news? What? No, I mean, probably not the news you watch.
Look, I can't give you the full story, but there's a Japanese dude running around and he fucking killed the Cloud Palace.
Oh, Pre, that happens all the time. It's nothing now.
But this guy's different. He's shouting Inoko-san at me like a deranged lunatic.
Are you at an anime convention? No! Marcus Yamamoto, he did an awful video! One, geez, you're gone for 4 commentaries and suddenly you're back, and 2, you made like a response, like, to the co-op I did with Mr. A? Oh, no. That wasn't enough. He had to kill them all. Them all? Oh, by the way, how did you get into the Cloud Palace? Shut up and avenge me. He'll be missed. See you after the context, Pre. Okay, now that I figured it all out, this is quite a long one, so bear with me. So, today we're going to be covering Marcus Yamamoto. He does a variety of things. I think he puts together music, compilations of other people's videos, and he does his own Fire Emblem, yokai-related shit. But the video we're covering is a response, and, well, there's a backstory for this one, so, okay. In early 2016, Jimmy Wetzel made a review of Yokai Watch where he admitted he wasn't very fond of the game. Now, a few months later, his friend, Nitro Red, made a counter video intended to detail why he was more or less wrong on the matter. However, while the video seemed alright, fellow commentator Zelf101, who I'll be referring to as Ozzy throughout this video, didn't like it and did a commentary on that in July of 2017. In February of this year though, Marcus Yamamoto showed up and made a response type video, which really isn't on anybody in particular, it just happens to be Marcus talking about yokai. And he wasn't that good at it. So later on, Zelf101 did a commentary to that video, tearing it down for all it was worth. However, that very next day soon came Marcus Yamamoto once more with another response. Somehow though, this was worse. It garnered the attention of many others, including myself, and alongside me and Mr. A, it was also covered by Night Tie-Dye, PS4 fan, also known as Halo fan, and there's a certain group comm script on it that I've seen, but to keep you all from panicking, let's just say it's 31 pages and go on. Now, despite this whole deal going silent for 2 months, he finally came back with a response to all 3 currently released responses, mine included in. Oh dear. So let me explain. We have 3 videos. One on PS4 fan, who I'll refer to as Halo fan through and throughout. Another one on Night Tie-Dye, also known as J Foxwell, so excuse me if I go back and forth between the names. And finally, the main event will be the response to Mr. Awesome and Mario and his co-op with yours truly. Now, let's begin. Oh, God. Hey, nice for you to join us, Pre. Fuck off. I'd rather keep the little sanity I have. Thank you. Whatever you say, lazy person. Alright, now let's begin.
Ladies and freaks, welcome to the Response Show! And in today's episode, we're gonna continue in the never-ending battle between Yokai Watch and Pokemon.
Wow, a post point already. Yeah, I suck. Okay, it's something I forgot to write in the script earlier, and without access to my mic, I decided I'm gonna do it as a post point and improvise this anyways. Marcus, why is your audio so bad here? I mean, I get why it's only bad here. It's because you only play your music here at this point. But even then, it's overpowering your own voice, and so basically you're pretty hard to hear here. It's annoying. Fix that.
For those of you who don't know or probably don't remember, here's the backstory. Jimmy Wetzel makes a Yokai Watch review and shits all over it. Then Nitro Red comes in and defends Yokai Watch. As Elf101 adds support.
No, you see, what really happened was that Nitro made a video defending it, but Ozzy thought it wasn't that good, so she went in and more or less destroyed Nitro's video. Is this support? Look, the reason I say this is a problem in your book is because it just screams not paying attention to the situation. Especially embarrassing considering this shit started in February. Take this as a sign.
It's basically Jimmy's fault. Or I guess it's all Pokemon's fault. Let me just remind you people that at least Yokai Watch doesn't get backlash or criticized by the mainstream news, or turn school playgrounds into the black market just for trading cards, or get ridiculed and insulted in parody shows.
Oh no, Pokemon got ridiculed by a show that ridicules different types of media. That just shows how yokai is superior. You know, at this rate, your arguments are getting more and more ridiculous. What next? Is Michael Jackson inferior to, let's say, BTS? Not because his music, but because he happened to be ridiculed on Robot Chicken? Are Mario and Sonic both inferior to, I don't know, Spyro because they were both ridiculed by Robot Chicken too? You know, this point works against you so hard, too, considering, as I said, the show you're talking about, Robot Chicken, of course, is known for ridiculing and parodying all sorts of media. So in a case of shooting yourself in the frickin' foot, you're basically implying yokai is so unmainstream that it cannot appear. Oofy, I know.
Or get labeled as satanic regardless if it's true or not.
I'm annoyed. You realize that most people who claim that Pokemon is satanic are going off of baseless theories? Because of this, saying that at least yokai aren't isn't really going to help your argument. It just says that Pokemon was so popular and out of nowhere was such a concept that people argued it was satanic. Ironic considering I could consider yokai more satanic than Pokemon. I mean, not really satanic, but most yokai of legend are evil or mischievous. And hell, even in the games, they're kind of the same way. Two examples include Chummer, who makes kids loiter after school, and then eats them, and then there's Count Cavity, who jabs away at the teeth of children. I mean, yeah, Pokemon are wild animals that attack you like any other wild animal, but there's clearly a jump in escalation here, god damn. And yeah, you do give off evidence later, citing Did You Know Gaming's Pokemon is Satanic video. But I mean, you do that later. At this point, you come off as just, oh, yokai didn't do this, and because of that, you just come off as annoying and stupid.
And if you want to make the argument that Pokemon is about friendship, yeah, sure, it's about friendship, because capturing wild fantasy animals, forcing it to bond with you, train them up to become a Mortal Kombat-style killing machine, just to become a master of everything, is considered friendship. Yeah, I believe it.
Oh god, we doing this. We really doing this. Pokemon from the start are basically wild animals roaming freely in the wild. Pokemon are shown to enjoy fighting and really care for their trainer. In games, anime, and anything if you aren't a villain at least, the trainer always cares for the Pokemon back. It's friendship basically. Like one between pets. I mean, you'd understand with those body pillows you must be hiding under your bed. Like, this is basically stretching out how it works to like the 11. I understand the joke, but when used against Pokemon in an argument, it actually makes me sad because it's so wrong, it really hurts.
Oh boy, what a joyous occasion. I'm smiling right now, if you can't tell, cause I honestly can't wait to do another response, cause I just love doing this.
I'm totally smiling at this point. Either way, I only have 19 dislikes in my video.
Wow, this guy does not know what the word sarcasm means.
No, he just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, PS4 fan, or I'll just call you Halo fan from here on out, so excuse me. Your wording is so poor, it's embarrassing. I assume you're trying to say that he's smiling yet he has 19 dislikes on his video. I don't know, your wording should be a little better here.
Just rolled.
You know that boring stuff that you did? You could have at least skipped it instead of fast forwarding it.
Hey! I take pride in my fast forwardings, alright? Don't judge!
How totally not ignorant of you. I'll do what I want because I like it, so fuck you, he says as he fast forwards. Come on, Marcus. I know you're still salty about me and Mr. A criticizing your constant annoying speed-ups, but goddamn. Look, if you're going to blatantly walk around a major production issue, then why are you still making videos? Because you're no different from those YouTubers that don't take criticism to help advance their content. Also, holy shit! Halo fan made a valid point? Gosh, dang! Oh god, it looks like the apocalypse is coming. Damn it, I knew getting into Love Live was a mistake. Okay, who and why? I was bored and horny. Shut up. Oh, and by the way, he continues to play his fast-forwarding music throughout the first part of this video as he's speeding up, so I assume this is also a part of his joke, so... wow. You're really going to leave in at least 30 more seconds of nothing but VHS noise. You're an asshole.
Why did you leave that whole entire part in the video? It just gives a padding.
Because it's relevant to the story, okay?
It isn't if we can't hear it, Baka.
Well, I guess it's not relevant anymore because it's kind of old news and I just decided to fast forward it. But that's not the point!
One, not really. I mean, the last video on it was done 2 months ago. And two, the context here is still important despite its age. Come on, why are you doing this to us, man? You're tearing us apart, Marcus! Yeah, I just realized there's a high mark joke in here too, but we're above that. Right? I just want to go home.
If you're gonna do this next time, just do it at the beginning of the video. Don't do it now.
Oh, like you know good showmanship, huh? Like you know how to present better than I do, considering the fact that I have to stare at this stupid Halo avatar for the entirety of this video.
ImageGate-san? Is that you? I thought you died.
I planned a formal meeting to... Earth the toddler, bitch!
Okay, Marcus, what's the point of this? You just let the first minute and 45 seconds of my video play, and you didn't think that it maybe kinda dragged out for a bit?
Well then my apologies. But it's still important, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You actually played the original video, her whole entire point, or for you to make a point. It's pretty stupid, really. I mean, you should have just skipped the points that you actually agree with. I mean, you know, skip to the points that you actually want to interject.
You know, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I cannot take this guy very seriously. He just sounds like Elmer Fudd. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have sounded like this.
I swear, the next Libyan I see him sitting right between the eyes like it's target practice.
Wow, this is both insulting and annoying. Outrageous! Atrocious! Unbelievable! Ridiculous! Fucked up, am I right? I know, right? Even with the CanCom, which aside from constantly missing the point, was just 30 minutes of us hating on Halo Fit, we didn't go out of our way to make fun of his speaking disability. Not to mention, you can't take him seriously because of his voice? Wow, what an asshole! So Joda Smith, Nightmare Kagami, Joshua, and many others cannot be taken seriously because of their voices? What the fuck, man? Well, I mean, Joshua did make a tree bite. Aside from that, are we supposed to be unable to take him seriously because of his voice? Quite rude, very rude, Desu. Also, this next part drags on for quite some time. Like, damn, it's honestly annoying and drags on longer than it should. Goodness.
Nigga, I woke up and there's a huge fight going on in the Cloud Palace. What the fuck?
And what I was trying to say is just don't judge a book by its cover.
Stop lying, dude. You were wasting space. Because you were actually saying that's a point that didn't debunk any points at all.
You know, I'm actually starting to get fed up with this guy right now. Like, I actually want to punch him in the face.
But punching people is bad. Look, I also need to point out another major thing that goes through this video and is especially notable in the next part. You blockhead! You started cutting out contacts! Not even to make yourself right, you just straight up cut crap out for no reason. Now, I do know that in my co-op with Mr. Ray, we constantly scold you for speeding up parts because we can't understand them. And as such, it becomes useless, and other times, you just let things play on forever, and most of the time, these things had no bearing on your arguments. Now, I have no clue if you're trying to fix this here, because the speeding up thing is still here. After all, your salty ass had to just shove it down our throats, but this is just stupid. Now you're cutting out the important things. You should pay attention to which parts have bearing on your interjection and keep those parts in. And if those parts drag out, make sure to speed it up to the point where it doesn't drag out. Well, that's the abridged version anyways. Also, damn, I know me and the dudes back in the CanCom had issues with Halo Fan, but oof. This guy took it a step above in less than 7 minutes. Then again, I bet this is what you'd feel like if Halo Fan of all people manages to kick your ass in an argument. Let's see what he pulls out next.
While yokai with a U or the real life mythos have been around for a long time, yokai with a hyphen haven't.
What the fuck is the difference? Wait a minute. Something's not right.
They are simply based off of the mythos and, get this, made up by level 5.
Azoth is being possessed by a Pokemon.
Okay, since when was she complaining about Pokemon? I mean, you brought it up, but you just bring it up for no reason at all.
I should have known better, but whatever. Halo Fan, buddy, that wasn't what he meant. He didn't say anything about Ozzy complaining about Pokemon. He's just joking that Ozzy is being simply controlled by a Pokemon. Hey, I'm only pointing this out because those are two completely different things to mix up, but I think you may needed to know about that, just saying. Now, how does Marcus argue this?
Well, didn't you know? Pokemon is satanic. I mean, go watch Did You Know Gaming's episode on Pokemon religion. It basically proves that Pokemon is satanic.
Well, it turns out he doesn't even bother. I mean, good to know, I guess, but come the fuck on. Now, I would go and check to see if you're right or wrong, Marcus, but he's lazy. There are like 4 other commentators on this video coming out, and we're wasting time. Doodle-Song syndrome, basically. Yep, because whatever Doodle has, you have it too. The daily life of a Doodle White Knight, guys. A proven White Knight at that. Oh, you'd want to be me. White Knighting Doodle every opportunity I get? Yeah, every commentator wants to be one of these. You're not going to Killan. Yeah, we're going now. You know, something I failed to catch in my original viewing is how you actually didn't prove that this was stated. You could have done better by bringing up where this is stated or even explaining how they did it. Frick, I would have actually given you a pass for using media clips as it's being used as evidence against us. But fuck man, nah, it's just satanic, so let's go ignore the fact that you're supposed to find out where this is yourself. Well, I decided to watch the video after hearing that the video didn't even imply this on a Discord server. So if anyone wanted to point out how I said that most theories are baseless earlier in the video, because fuck me, you gotta get that quickie material, I intended on pointing it out there, but I moved it here to this post point so I wouldn't be repeating myself. So first off, is that Pokemon supports evolution, which by itself is fucking stupid. Evolution is the theory that people evolve from animals, and that is believed by many Christians to be an anti-Christian idea, which I find really far-fetched. Evolution was theorized because of the connections we have with other animals and where humans and the things before us came from and were formed. In a nutshell, it's a different view on how humans were created, but just because people who believe in evolution would be ignoring the fact that in the Bible, God first created humans doesn't mean that they're doing this to say God doesn't exist. It's more of a solution for people who don't believe in God or possibly believe that there is more than what the Bible had implied. Frick, I believe in God and I think evolution is a pretty plausible idea too. Then there's a long story about how there's these items that are similar to the Stamps of Solomon and how you use those to control demons and how there's a book on how to summon or catch demons, yada yada yada, we get it. Pokemon was not intended to share any similarities towards an old Bible story, nor was it intended to share similarities with this book or whatever. So yeah, I guess they aren't completely baseless, but even then, most of these could be chalked up to coincidences. So unless anyone very versed in religion wants to explain this to me, looking at you, sketch, that these theories are mostly built on sand instead of good sediment. And to be fair, I guess I'm not too wrong with the baseless thing. Look, I found an article that claims that Pokemon is satanic simply because the characters aren't nice. Frick, looks like I ain't welcome at church solely because of my Fox of the GP video. And again, I wouldn't blame them.
You know what, Gaijin, could you explain this?
The design of the yokai are both charming and accurate.
No, frick you, and frick your media clip.
You take that back about Gaijin!
You could have.
Would you please just actually make a good damn point?
I was making a good point, you dipshit!
Goodness, you are producing so much salt, I think I can now successfully float in the river Styx. I mean, yeah, Halo fans' wording here is about as good as a first grader, but either he's saying, make a good point for once, or make a good point yourself, which is interesting because at this moment, you grabbed Gaijin to complete the point for you. Me and Mr. A went on multiple tangents about your extensive use of media clips for points, but again, you know, he could be saying that he wants you to stop using clips.
Gaijin was supposed to explain that the designs for the yokai resonate with Japanese history and culture, but Azelf decided to be a little bitch and stomp him out!
Fire is gonna kill you. He's gonna fly to Japan solely so he can kill you.
Think of a big black man chasing you! I hate you, you never visit me!
Oh yeah, and also forgot to mention that this guy will indeed use media clips, because media clips will indeed help you strengthen your argument, which it won't.
Spider-Man! Out of f***ing nowhere!
Okay, no, you are so salty now, I have no idea where I'm gonna put it all. Like, damn, dude. Somebody calls you out for media clips once again, and you're fucking scrambling around like, well, bitch, I have more. Like, honestly, are you really this annoyed about something that's actually kinda true? Yeah, I mean, looking back, me and Mr. A did harp on you a little too much back in a co-op, I feel, but it came off as super duper lazy and weren't big fans of that. Now, this time, this isn't even being used as a way to explain anything. It's here because you're tired of people arguing the use of them. Now, while Halo Fan did do a piss poor job arguing you, this is absolutely stupid. Fucking hell, man. And it continues. Like, dude, are you really this salty? Come on, man. I could already float in the river Styx. I didn't want to float down the Arkansas River, which doesn't actually exist, by the way, too.
Oh, wow! Look at all these amazing media clips! Doesn't that just piss you off right now?
I've been joking about wanting to punch somebody, but for the first time, I actually wanna punch one of my targets. If you honestly want to be taken seriously, you should stop with this stupid ass attitude of yours, listen, and hopefully figure out the problem and fix it. I'd go down on a long rant, but one, I don't want to pull a clown dude, and two, I'm saving myself for the final thoughts. Anyways, the rest of the video is nothing interesting, so yeah, the next part is about Night Eye's video, which before scripting this I haven't seen, so let's go.
Unbelievable.
I feel so conflicted.
I really hate how aside from giving your final thoughts, you give no indication that we're jumping videos. It just happens all of a sudden, and excuse me for using such an overused CC term, is actually quite jarring. Usually what people do with states like this is say, alright, on to the next video, or some sort of slide that shows the name of what's gonna happen next. Instead here, it just happens. I mean, it does sound minuscule, but considering in my first viewing of the video, I actually had trouble labeling each portion, this is actually quite bothersome. I get that it probably wasn't something you thought about doing, but if you ever do another one of these, you should at least actually try next time.
I think it's time we address the elephant in the room.
What's the elf? Oh, fuck. God.
Marcus, you realize the yokai in these games are based on the yokai from myths and legends long ago, right?
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I know that. But they can still appear even in today, especially urban legends.
What? Night is saying that they're only based on the old yokai. I mean, yeah, it took me a few re-listens, but by base, he means they aren't the exact one-to-one yokai from past legends, which, by the way, me and Mr. A explained to you in our com on you. Now, originally, I did have trouble arguing this part, because when you're arguing these videos, apparently you're doing it as you go along, and because of that, you're cutting important arguments in half, it seems. So the first time I saw this, I assumed you were answering with, of course I know they aren't exactly the real type, and I said, well, then we have a freaking problem then, Marcus. Alternatively, I thought you probably misheard it and thought I was saying that it was that they were based as in one-to-one versions of the yokai of legend. Now, in case one of these two scenarios is true, I'll go ahead and debunk them both. In the first case, the reason Night is talking about yokai being real or not is because in the original Marcus states that yokai are real.
They are not made up like Pokemon and Digimon. They are actually real. They existed for hundreds of years in Japan.
Which was kind of the video, by the way. So you saying obviously means you talking about yokai being real is basically a worthless add-on, not to mention it is wrong anyways, and you'd be implying you knew that. And the other one, this is where the problem of you kind of dropping down comes back into play. The moment you heard the next part of the argument, which goes into more detail about how they aren't one-to-one, this point would have been made worthless because it turns out you're wrong about this point.
They don't really represent the creatures they're based on.
Okay, I can understand that from a demographic perspective because scary spirits equal rated M game.
Oh hey, PreLunatic again, I have another point I might have missed. Marcus, that wasn't the point. You see, all Naya is trying to say here is that the yokai are not based on the original. Not that it should be dark or anything like that because spooky spirits. You never even implied that. Stop it. Get some help.
But still, they're at least similar to what they truly are.
I mean, I've yet to hear Japanese lore about a magenta humanoid with gun barrels on its hands that floats around and makes people fall in love. And don't get me started on the American yokai.
Well, if you don't like American yokai, then that's clearly your problem, not mine. Because I'm not American.
But, I never said he didn't like it or anything. He was just saying, don't get me started, because in legend, was there ever an American yokai? He's trying to get out how these yokai are not the same yokai from folklore. Is he even paying attention anymore? Probably not. He's high on Japan after all. Quite the drug. He's too far gone, man. Too far gone.
Yeah, Yeah, maybe back in times like the Edo period they were considered real. But that's because, like a lot of myths and legends, they were either used to explain things that seemingly had no explanation, or to frighten children into good behavior, or were just the embodiment of a silly idea.
I'm getting the vibe that this guy has never been to Japan before in his entire life, and probably does not deserve to visit the country considering how inconsiderate and weebish this guy is acting.
Is he wrong, though? You just say, I have a feeling this guy's never been to Japan. Also weebish? Nigga!
I know that some people in Japan probably still do believe in yokai and tell legends about them, but you're forgetting one simple fact, Marcus. The premise of the Yokai Watch franchise is that yokai are invisible to modern-day humans. And it's still unexplained how Nate could even see Whisper before he got the Yokai Watch. Yokai get away with causing mischief for humans because they can't be seen. Not without a specific tool, not unless they wish to be seen, or unless someone has a high level of spiritual awareness like the monks you talked to at the fusion shrines. There's also the fact that yokai in this franchise can evolve similar to Pokemon and Digimon.
Yeah, it's called promotions. Like in Fire Emblem.
Yep, and that's why this is a problem. At this point, you're just walking around all of the things Naitare is doing to debunk you, and ignoring the fact that all your evidence is being put down the drain. I don't even know what to say. You clearly don't understand the full picture Naitare is trying to present here.
You take that back about Gaijin!
Again with this context being cut out crap. Fuck it, I guess since it's so important I have to show it myself now.
They are not made up like Pokemon and Digimon. They are actually real. They existed for hundreds of years in Japan. They are real even in today. You know what, Gaijin, could you explain this?
The design of the yokai are both charming and accurate.
No, frick you, and frick your media clip.
You take that back about Gaijin!
Take what back?
Insulting a Japanese cultural expert like Gaijin Guba is pretty much like insulting Japan!
Dude, he's just the guy who happens to know a lot about culture. Fuck, I mean, insults aren't exactly something people usually let slide by. But I mean, unless it's anything rude, stereotypical, or downright xenophobic, insulting a country isn't usually too big of a deal unless it's again with the above. And really all that happened is Zelf refused to let you play Gaijin's point, and that was it. Nothing against Gaijin, just your love of letting him explain things for you was the problem. Look, I'm gonna play nice real quick and just say, if Japan is so great, why isn't there a Japan too?
Have you ever even read the Yokai Watch manga? Or watched the Yokai Watch movies?
Such a shame that all three original videos had absolutely nothing to do with the anime or manga, and we're talking about the game!
This is not just the game, this is the entire series, okay?
No, Marcus, the whole conversation is in Ozzy's videos about both the games and the manga. Stop trying to shoehorn in the other pieces of media for no reason. Hey Russ, stop!
Well, I was going more for a threatening joke and then a Game Grumps reference.
No.
Can you believe it? This guy not only hates trains, robots, and yokai, he hates the Game Grumps! What's next? Spider-Man? Fire Emblem? This guy is just out of control.
Oh man, this guy hates everything I like. Oh man, he's really out of control here. Marcus, why is it a problem when somebody hates what you like? I mean, yeah, this could be a joke, but the way you act through this commentary, everything you say, serious or not, comes off as both a joke and serious. But either way, in the long run, Naitare has never said or implied he hated any of it. In the case of the Game Grumps clip, all he said was no, as in your continuous use of media clips was starting to get to him.
I, honest to God, have no words to express how much of an immature, bratty man-baby you're being right now, Marcus.
Gee, have you ever met Sammy Classic Sonic fan?
Why yes, Marcus, yes I have, and if you're trying to say he's worse or you're not compared to him, I don't care. Many believe you're acting like a man-child over this whole dumb situation and it's getting on their last nerves. And Marcus, to say you aren't closing in on his level, God. Otherworldly obsession over favorite franchises, you know, at least he was a child. Or in his late teens. Holy fuck, he graduated?
You know what, maybe realistic isn't the right term. Maybe I should just try relatable.
Oh? Are you going to talk about Nate Adams? Well, this might be a good
example of this would be Thomas and Friends.
No, so much no!
Wow, this guy is out of control. He's probably Jack the Ripper!
Yes, because of the fact that he doesn't like the example, he must be a fucking serial killer. Shaking my fucking head.
Cars? Cars?
So, in conclusion, to the second video, this guy is also known as Jack the Destroyer. He is an American who has committed many crimes, including sending death threats to the Japanese and British governments, as well as popular Let's Players. He's also destroyed railways, sabotaged robotic labs, and he speaks in a muffled voice. So beware of this criminal. He could be lurking under your bed. Thankfully not mine, because it's just filled with a bunch of shoes.
Yeah, right. Wait, hold on, guys.
Jay, what are you doing under my bed?
Well, anyways, now with Night Jedi's portion done, this leaves the third and final response. Me and Mr. A. Considering this one's going to be the magnum opus, I might as well change my avatar for the occasion. This is for Dragon Ball Super, bitch!
There's Roblox porn!
You want this, Beetle? You gotta do something for me first.
Okay, like what?
You familiar with Marcus Yamamoto?
I mean, kind of?
Yeah, you know, that popular YouTuber who makes videos about Fire Emblem, Yokai Watch, Rockman, Spider-Man, and other things Japanese related, as well as his amazing and theatrical compilations that he puts a lot of effort into? He's awesome! I want him to sign my forehead!
I'd rather Slayer the Lolly fuck me in the ear while V Omega takes me in the ass and have your name signed on my head. You'll probably write it in weeb language, making me a big target at school.
Seriously? What is it with some people and making response after response to people?
Bro! People just want to be like Martin Luther King Jr., man! They just want to preach what's deep inside of their heart! You get me?
Yeah, but what if your preaching is kinda not right? People may not take you seriously. You're less of Martin Luther King and more of Joshua Colviehouse. Horrific spokesperson, terrific gardener. What I mean is that honestly, every time you respond, it becomes clearer and clearer that what you're saying honestly is wrong and isn't getting us anywhere. Like, please, we get it. You hate Pokemon for causing yokai to be overshadowed, but there are reasons for that, as explained by basically everyone, unless your name is Halo fan, of course.
I have a dream that yokai and Pokemon can join hands together and let them harmony!
Seeing your voice come out of such an influential man's mouth has caused me to feel sad. I am sad. You should feel bad for making me sad.
Meet Marcus Yamamoto.
Hi, I'm Marcus Yamamoto, and I make videos about Fire Emblem, Yokai Watch, Rockman, Spider-Man, and other things Japanese related, as well as compilations, either involving gaming or not gaming. That's how I roll.
Yeah, I think we got the memo at this point. You could do anything but good responses, apparently. But seriously, you just said this. Doing it again serves for nothing other than to drag out the video needlessly. Again. Goodness, you're pretty good at finding ways to drag out things. You should work on Dragon Ball Z. I'd like to see how you drag that out more than it already is.
Today we're going to be looking at his 6th response video. The second of his in a chain involving himself, a Self 101, Nacho Rad, and Jimmy Wetzel.
Yes, Jimmy is to blame for all of this. Everyone go unsubscribe to his channel.
Then again, this chain wouldn't be as big if we left Ozzy's first video at that, but because it wasn't good enough, nah, we gotta make a whole video talking about how Jimmy is awful through Ozzy's video and kinda waste our time, and then when Ozzy turns around and explains why you're wrong, I have to go ahead and be like, nah, nigga, Pokemon, that shit evil.
Ah, high-pitched noises!
So I find this weird, to be honest. You sped it up to an absurdly fast level since it was boring, but, you know, you could have straight up cut it out as that was an easier alternative.
Hey! Fast forwarding is my drugs, okay? It's my cocaine! Don't judge me!
But Marcus, don't you know? Drugs are bad. But no, seriously. Marcus, you realize it's irritating to certain people, and on top of that, usually it's very lengthy and honestly adds nothing to the video. You're still wasting our time. Stop it. Don't make me get the belt. Also, this design. No disrespect, but we really play a Mega Man DOS up in here.
Hey! I like to see you try to draw a better Mega Man, okay? This is my Mona Lisa, okay? It is the cutest Rockman that you're ever gonna see.
Well, I never said it was outright ugly or bad, I just thought it looked funny, so it's not like I'm harping on it. Despite that, though, with the problems there are, you should be willing to fix them if any artist goes up to you with any advice. Not like that'd be me, though, I'm a terrible artist. Though I guess I can't pass up on a challenge, eh, Marcus?
Holy shit! No, but in all seriousness, there is something that Nitro Rad truly shines upon, and that's the yokai. They are not made up like Pokemon and Digimon. They are actually real. They existed for hundreds of years in Japan. And look, just because you live in America doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Okay, while the overall concept of yokai are not made up unlike Pokemon or Digimon, yeah, Marcus. Yokai, a class of supernatural monsters, spirits, and demons in Japanese folklore. Remember that last line. Folklore, the traditional beliefs, customs, and stories of a community passed on through the generations by word of mouth. Now, nowhere in this definition is it stated that folklore isn't real, but to be clear, folklore is usually used in a sense where it is implied that something isn't real.
But it didn't say folklore was fake, so that means it could probably be real.
Yeah, but those chances are quite low, you know. Yokai's existence have never been officially supported in Japan after all, and either way, I don't really see this changing my point.
Also, ever heard of, urban legends? Like Hanako-san?
You do know urban legends are nearly the exact same way. Again, usually not true, but this time not like long time ago. And by the way, you're lucky that I just happened to check some clips of dubbed ghost stories because otherwise I wouldn't know what the hell you're talking about. Hanako-san is an urban legend similar to that of Bloody Mary in Japan. If you go into the girls' bathroom stall and stand in front of the fourth stall and shout her name, varying degrees of things could happen. Honestly, out of all the urban legends you could have picked, you had to pick this one. Because, you know, this one honestly is a full circle, as it helps my point about urban legends usually not being real either. After all, there are so many differing sources for how she died and how she spawns. One source says she killed herself after severe bullying, and the other says she died in air raid during World War II. Those are two different sides of escalation that I honestly don't know. Not to mention, even how she spawns is different. Either a hand, or a bloody hand in some cases, comes out of the stall, or you have a three-headed lizard just waiting in the stall to eat you. I don't get this example. Well, hey, at least you helped prove my point. You made my life a little bit easier, thank you.
That's what she said.
Oh, fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No. Fuck you. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't dare. Underage, yada yada yada.
I don't know, he's a weeb. Maybe he'll work off of Japan's age of consent.
Look, I'm 15, but I'm not desperate, okay? I'd rather fuck myself. Okay, I'm just gonna sit over here and forget I ever said that.
That's right, Keiichiro.
But Axel is a robot!
No, Axel is a Reploid. A new type of Reploid. And yes, I know that because I did my research. I'm not big into Mega Man X, but at least I did my research!
Marcus! No! I need to point out how a Reploid is basically the same thing.
Yeah, I can tell. They have never played a Mega Man game before. And that is a huge shocker!
You didn't even try to prove us wrong here, Baka. Well, whatever, I'm gonna pull a U and point out how I actually own quite a few. I have the Legacy Collection, actually bought 6 from my old 3DS and have 7 on my current 3DS. Own X4 on my PlayStation 3 alongside having a now broken original copy from my PlayStation 1, as well as owning X6 and 2 on my phone. Yeah, my series experience may be limited to owning a few and being very good at even less, but still, even without those experience, I could have done something, I think you called this research. It's even funnier because while this is pointed out in some games, to get the best research for Reploids, it's actually better to look it up online since Reploids aren't completely explained in any of the games, save X1 and X4. But even then, in the case of X4, it's only name dropped without any context to really understand the true meaning. Meaning, for the most part, nobody really understands what Reploids are. I already stated in my video with Mr. A that a Reploid is a type of robot that actually has its own free will, has emotions like that of humans and stuff like that. But I pointed out how they're still robots. So, how am I wrong, Marcus? What next? Is the yokai anime not an anime and instead some sort of gift from God because it's the greatest thing ever? Is the Bible not a book because it's one of the most influential pieces of media to ever exist? Well, sorry, Marcus, you still read it, it's a book. You still watch yokai, it's an ongoing series, so it's still an anime.
I'm not sure that's what MLK said, but it's a good quote.
Okay, I get it. Pokemon is popular, but what about Yokai Watch? Give Yokai Watch a chance to shine.
Alright, I'm gonna stop your tangent right here. There's a completely valid reason why Yokai Watch has been overshadowed by Pokemon. Both games are published on Nintendo devices. Take the average consumer. Since the games are very mechanically similar at face value, they would likely assume it's some cash grab Pokemon clone and therefore won't touch it. This is especially the case here in the States of how Yokai Watch had quite the rocky start. The bottom line is that Nintendo is cannibalizing the sales of Yokai Watch because its main series titles are being launched on the same device as Pokemon, the 3DS. At the end of the day, it's a result of some poor decisions in marketing combined with consumer consensus.
Okay, stop right there. No, Nintendo has nothing to do with this, alright? They have nothing to do with this whatsoever. They are not responsible for Yokai Watch. Level 5 is.
No, Marcus. Level 5 is responsible for making the game and releasing it in Japan, obviously, but, in America and the rest of the world, it is published by Nintendo. They mostly handled the marketing and all that jazz. What's wrong? I thought you did research. Considering I found this on Wikipedia, I'm not fucking amused.
Boy, I seriously hope you're joking. But even in spite of that, for a majority of those examples, you can buy both games.
But you have to pick one favorite, alright? One favorite!
I could go on a tirade about how I like cats and dogs equally, and Sonic Forces and Sonic 06 the exact same, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. So, Marcus, you noticeably cut out the section where you explain the different series to pick one over the other.
No, you can't love both things. You can only choose one. You have to pick one over the other, because that's life. White Birthright or Black Conquest. Team Blues or Team Colonel. Gonzo Spirits or Hunky Souls. Marvel or DC. Mario or Sonic. Pacifist or Genocide. Hero or Scrapper. There is no in-between or both.
Why does this bother me? Because this is especially crucial to the next point. Do you even know how to edit right? Just curious.
And for the Mario vs. DC and Mario vs. Sonic examples, you can like both.
Oh, you are so naive.
This guy is over 20.
Now, the Marvel and DC topic, I'm gonna have to discuss that in another video. But overall, you have to pick one favorite.
And even then, I understand you're trying to push some sort of ideological struggle between whether you can like Pokemon over yokai or vice versa. But even then, if you like them both, well, you like them both. There shouldn't be a problem if I feel like picking up a Pokemon game over a yokai game. You're watching the yokai anime instead of the Sun and Moon anime. If I like them both, then I like them both. Like, do you need a hug or something? Like, I don't know, you seem desperate for attention.
Also, why did you use the Japanese version of the coin reveal trailer for Smash 4 when the English one was readily available? Ignoring the fact that this is you essentially playing a media clip for the sake of playing a media clip?
Because I'm Japanese, and Melkorn is canonically Japanese? Are you questioning my nationality or something?
Well, I don't know, you just come off of some sort of really big weeaboo, and I'm just curious.
There's no room for friendship in Pokemon!
You know that most yokai in Japanese mythology are evil, right? Or at the very least mischievous?
Not every yokai is evil or completely hostile. There are thousands, probably thousands of yokai that are 100% harmless and won't even hurt a fly.
Yes, Marcus, that is why he said most. I guess you want American after all if you can't understand basic English. Oof. And yeah, for those thousands of you who might get political on this point, it was a joke. I'm sorry.
I can name a few examples. Karakasa Obake, Bakezori. Come on, man!
For Pete's sakes, can you not do 30 seconds of research?
Yeah, 2 examples. That'll show him. But honestly, even if you tried, you wouldn't be able to say otherwise, considering, as we said, it is most yokai. Now, if you went around and maybe did research and found out we were wrong in the sense that most yokai are actually not evil and mischievous, then you'd have a point, but from the looks of it, it ain't true. For a guy trying to preach research, you seem to be better at just pulling shit out of your ass.
I will never stop!
They can, actually, and the only reason they don't seem to be is because you're making a fuss about Yokai Watch not ending up as popular as Pokemon.
No, you cannot pin this on me, okay? I did not start this war. I did not ask to start this war, okay? Jimmy started this war. The Pokemon community asked this war, okay? This war will continue on until Pokemon has died.
Well, first off, the only reason this chain is going on as long as this is because you're still here arguing despite the rest of us packing up and going home once it was obvious that you were completely wrong. Sure, Jimmy made a bad video, I guess, I don't know. However, the only reason this chain actually started is because of Nitro defending yokai. Oops. And until Pokemon dies? So, like, quite possibly never? I mean, after all, Pokemon games hold the title of 2nd and 3rd best-selling Game Boy games, 5th, 6th, and 8th best-selling DS games, and 2nd, 3rd, and 4th best-selling 3DS games. Reminder, these sales are through 2 decades, and most of these games have been pretty consistent with them holding around 15 to 18 million sales. And the 15 to 18 million sales has been around just since the Game Boy games. Great going, Marcus, you ruined my life.
But I believe that there is another reason as to why there is palette swaps, and that is to save space on the cartridge. Now, yes, Yokai Watch is a very big game, but the 3DS can only do so much.
No, shut it. That is not an excuse. Considering how Sun and Moon and their re-releases have over 800 Pokemon, plus all of the shiny malls that can still be played on a regular old 3DS with very few slowdowns here and there should be no excuse as for why Level 5 goes the lazy route with some of the designs. Especially since, unlike Pokemon, where it's the size of the malls that causes the slowdowns, Yokai actually makes the models smaller if needed, therefore saving on space for the game. This means that if Level 5 wanted to, they can add in more Yokai with unique design skills and etc. without resorting to using old designs and either adding in a feature here and there or swapping out for a texture.
Oh sure, like you know a thing or two about game development. Sure.
Alright, Flower, you wanna go? So, palette swaps are just reskinned models, right? Well, fun fact, even though it's the exact same model, it's treated as an entirely separate one in the game's code to compensate for the palette swap. Shinies take up space in the game's memory, too, as the game has to choose between the normal version or whatever, with the shiny version or whatever, whenever you encounter it. So there's virtually no difference space-wise when it comes to having a bunch of reskins versus entirely new models, unless the new models are significantly more complex. And even then, your argument boils down to, oh, you aren't a game developer, therefore you can't argue about game development. Like, do you know anything about game development?
Yeah, it's to be mindful about the hardware limitations and what a system can do. Of course, not overload a hardware with too much content. I think that's pretty important. Otherwise, your game is gonna slow down and lag and probably crash.
But you see, the problem was that your point simply boiled down to you saying, like you know anything about game development, Ozzy, which came off as simply just dodging the point. I mean, it isn't like you show that you're qualified to act like she can't talk about game development, especially considering Mr. A afterwards comes in and shows how he could easily talk about it. Oofy, I know. Oh, come on, instead of just skipping right over the final thoughts as you've done other portions, you would instead have to give us a whole minute of annoying skipping noise. Too bad you had nothing against my final thoughts. Guess I was right about your annoying hatred of Pokemon being childish. Well, I guess it's time for my final thoughts. You know, I actually didn't know what I wanted to say for my final thoughts. I thought everything I had wanted to say had already been said in my video with Mr. A, since I wanted to tell you how I didn't give Pokemon a chance as a kid, because I thought it showed overshadowed things I thought were cool, but eventually grew out of that. Looking back, the message was a little condescending, as I implied I thought you acted like a child, but in all honesty, I thought you were misguided to say the least. But considering you're going to continue on about how Pokemon is the devil and it ruined yokai, I guess there is no helping it. I can relate to your misunderstanding why Ozzy disagreed with your first video that involved her, since your videos aren't really commentaries but more responses. So I wanted to give that second video a little pass, but this just feels extremely salty and childish. You fail to actually prove any of us wrong, except maybe that one time with Halo Fan. I don't know whether or not you plan on making a response, and I hope you don't, because the more it goes on, the more you're going to get confused, and someday we'll be all talking down to you, and eventually somebody will just straight up tell you to quit YouTube. And it'll be awful, and hey, even if you do make a response, I won't make a response back, because I don't feel like repeating myself. Not to mention, I'm gonna try and make sure this doesn't become a tree. Now, there was a theory over here that you're trolling. Honestly, if you are, that's fine and dandy. You gave me something to do for a month, and you really do a good job at making yourself look like some sort of man-child. Marcus, all I really want to say is get your head out of your ass for once and kindly pay attention in this little argument. Thank you and good night. Also, here's your better drawing, Marcus. I doubt it's any good, but Fire and Ozzy put their faith in me, and I thought disappointing them was a little better than doing nothing. Thank you. Good night. Well, that was stupid. God, you want to see something stupid? Well, you're out. I was forced to watch Love Live against my will. Weren't you criticizing me for watching that show? Well, I didn't have a choice. But did you? Yeah? Wait. Yep, this is happening now. Oh dear, the world really is coming to an end. I gotta go, Star Sunshine. See ya. Wait, not without me!